Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. For today's video, we're going to be doing a 2.5-year Tretinoin update. And no, I promise I won't sit here and just talk all about the benefits in using Tretinoin yet again, because we've been there, done that at least a million times. Let's just say that. So I won't rehash all of that in today's video, but I was thinking about it and I've never sat down to do a proper Tretinoin update to talk about all of the things that have happened to my skin that I maybe wasn't expecting to happen, or on the flip side, things that I thought would happen that didn't. So I thought we could talk about that in today's video for any of you that are maybe just starting Tretinoin and wondering what to expect, or for those of you that are kind of on the fence about it and want to know if it's really worth all of the hassle, because there's definitely some hassle with it, that's for sure. So we'll talk that. I also wanted to share some of my favorite products for when I have irritation and using Tretinoin. Definitely doesn't happen as much, but I have experienced my fair share of that over the past couple of years. And because I have gotten a lot of questions, I'm going to share my agency Hello? I'm going to share my prescription that I currently have from agency. So the amount of Tretinoin I'm prescribed and the other ingredients in this formula, because a lot of you have been asking about that. So this is where I am currently getting Tretinoin from. I'm buying it myself. This video is not sponsored for any of you curious, but is that everything? I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. So I hope that all of that will be helpful for you guys. So if you would like to hear all about what has really happened to my skin over the past 2.5 years in using Tretinoin, you've come to the right spot, and we're going to jump into that in a second. But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and drop a comment below letting me know if you are currently using Tretinoin, or maybe a different retinoid, or maybe nothing at all. Let me know, I'm curious. Thank you so much for doing all of these things. It really helps to support me with the YouTube algorithm, so I appreciate you so much. And as always, if you need anything from me at all, it's always in my description box below, including Lightroom preset filters for editing your Instagram photos, my SPF merch, timestamps, discount codes, links to my favorite products of all time, and any products that I reference in today's video. All right, let's jump into it. So I was originally prescribed Tretinoin from my dermatologist when my hormonal acne was at an all-time high. Or low, because it was a low for me, but a high as far as the severity and number and frequency of breakouts I was experiencing. I always had cystic breakouts around my chin, around my jawline region. I would get a lot of whiteheads in that area as well. So I was really hoping that Tretinoin would fully kick that to the curb for me, and unfortunately it has not. To this day, I still experience breakouts. So that is the first thing that I wish I knew kind of up front, that was not going to be a cure-all for me. But I will say it has made a major difference. So before using Tretinoin, I would say I consistently had several breakouts on my face, and I inconsistently had clear skin, and that has completely flipped for me. So while I don't get frequent breakouts anymore, I do still sometimes get breakouts around my cycle, or especially when I eat a lot of sugar. For me, I have noticed a very clear link between eating a lot of sugar and getting a breakout several days later. So Tretinoin is not able to fix that for me, but it's fixed a lot of the problem, which I'm super grateful for. Which transitions nicely into talking about spot treatments for breakouts. So because I do still break out, I obviously want to use something to help that breakout heal even faster than it would with just using Tretinoin by itself. But I can't rely on spot treatments that I used to prior to being prescribed Tretinoin, because they, for the most part, really irritate my skin. So for example, I used to use high-strength benzoyl peroxide spot treatments, no problem. A lot of the times now, if I do that, I'll end up with really irritated skin. It's red, it's scaly, it's flaky, it hurts, and it takes forever to heal, way longer than the breakout itself would take to heal. So for the most part, I steer clear of products like that. And I've pretty much just exclusively been using the Mighty Patch for the past, I would say, year or so now. I absolutely love it. I know a lot of you guys know exactly what this is at this point, but if you're not familiar, it's basically a little patch that you put on your breakout. There's no ingredients in it, so it's not going to irritate your skin. It just creates an environment from which that breakout can heal more quickly with minimal irritation. So the Tret speeds up the healing process, but when I add this, it's even faster, which I absolutely love, and then I don't have to worry about my skin peeling off. But it's not just because that breakout is irritated, so it makes the skin around it more likely to get irritated. I mean, that definitely plays into it, but at the same time, my entire face without breakouts is just so much more sensitive than it ever used to be before I was using tretinoin. So I have to be really, really careful with exfoliants or products that have potentially irritating ingredients like high amounts of fragrances and essential oils, because those types of products and ingredients can really, really irritate my skin. And while it may not be something as severe as like that breakout, I will often get similar signs, just in a less drastic way, all over my face. So at this point, unless there is a product that I'm testing out to review for you guys, which I am still always down to do, I'm not consistently using an exfoliant in my skincare routine because it just more often than not really was an issue for me. It felt like the risk was higher than the reward. So if you want to know exactly what I do use in my skincare routines, I recently posted them for both the morning and nighttime. I will list those below, but that's why I'm pretty much exfoliant free at this point. That's also why I've really stayed away from products with fragrances and essential oils added to them. It's not because I think those ingredients are terrible or that they're going to be problematic for everybody. It's based on my personal experience. So there were a lot of products that I used to love, like for example, the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream Moisturizer. Oh my gosh, so nice. The L'Oreal, I'm already forgetting the name because I feel like I deleted it from my memory because it really upset me that I couldn't use it anymore. The 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, loved that. Both of those products are heavily fragranced. I used to have no issue in using them. Then once I started using tretinoin, my skin would get really, really irritated in using them. So it's just really a personal thing. I just try to play it safe because I don't want my skin to be super irritated. Nobody wants red flaky skin if you can avoid it, right? I'll be curious to see if that's something I continue to experience as time goes on, because it could very well just be that over the past 2.5 years, my skin was either one, getting used to tretinoin as an ingredient since I never used it before, or two, getting used to higher amounts of that ingredient because I have gradually increased the amount that I use over the past 2.5 years as well. So it could just be that the entire time my skin was already being irritated by tretinoin and those ingredients just made it worse. So I'm definitely not saying I'm writing off products with those ingredients forever, especially when it's fragrance or one essential oil added very last on a long label. There's a big difference between that and a product with fragrance third on the label as far as potential for irritation. But for now, I'll continue to play it safe, and I do really like to give you guys options that have sensitive skin as well, so that's not going anywhere. But I'm curious, you guys are gonna have to let me know if any of you experience something similar and you've been able to reintroduce products with smaller amounts of fragrances. Let me know. So I would say that over the past several months, I really haven't had any major issues with irritation, which is great. That makes me hopeful that my skin, is getting adapted better than it once was, because last summer, like 2020 summer, the whole year before that, my skin just felt like it was constantly on fire. I was having so many issues. So I have several products that I used during that time that really, really helped me, and that I still just like to use because they're great products and they make my skin feel nice, that I want to share. So first is a facial spray, which is a category I don't talk about that often on my channel, but this is definitely worth a mention because I really love it. It's the La Roche-Posay Thermal Spring Water. So it's just a little mist. Nice soft mist, oh my gosh, feels so good, of their thermal spring water. And this is something that really, really soothes my skin whenever it is irritated. So I absolutely love to spray this on my skin before then going in with any serum or moisturizer or sunscreen. I shouldn't say or because I use those products every day, but you can use them before any of those products, before you apply makeup, and it really just helps to not only, of course, hydrate, but really calm down the skin as well. Snail mucin is an ingredient that really helps my skin when it's irritated. Not only does this ingredient really help to make your skin look plump and glowy and hydrated, but it's also so nice at calming and soothing and helping to protect and restore your skin barrier. So this is something I love. It's the CosRx Advanced Snail 92 all-in-one cream. It's a very lightweight moisturizer. It kind of feels like a gel. So if you have super dry skin, I would definitely wear this underneath a thicker, more occlusive moisturizer. If you're oily, you could wear it by itself. but I love this. It makes my skin look so good, and it always soothes it and helps it to heal more quickly. If you'd prefer to get snail mucin in serum form, this product is amazing for that. It's from Peach Slices. It's their Snail Rescue Blemish Busting Toner. I've talked about this a lot recently. It is great. It has 95% snail mucin. It also has hyaluronic acid and Centella asiatica. So all around, really, really nice plumping, hydrating, and calming product. I absolutely love it. It feels great. Such a nice formula. So, I mean, both of these are awesome and immediately help to calm down my skin. The Cetaphil Redness Relieving Night Moisturizer is another product I've talked about a lot. I love it. There's tons of great ingredients, not only for irritation, but also just for your skin, period. So it has things like allantoin, panthenol, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, shea butter, ceramides, licorice root, the list goes on. It's so nice. Such a nice formula. A thicker option, of course, than that Cosrx snail mucin, which is very mucin-y. And last is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5. This is a soothing and repairing balm. It has 5% panthenol and madecassoside, great ingredients for irritation, and I really like to use this during the day because unlike other healing products like the CeraVe Healing Ointment, which I love, this is not ointmenty, it's not greasy, it's just almost honestly a little bit pasty at first, but it absorbs really nicely into the skin, so you can wear it under makeup or just during the day and not have to worry about your skin looking greasy, but this really helps my skin to heal too. Also, Vanacream, of course, you guys know I love that brand, but I would say that that is my top recommendation for a brand. All of those products are going to be amazing if you are just starting off using tretinoin, if you are going to increase the amount of tretinoin that you're using, or if you're already experiencing active irritation, you can definitely rely on them because they are very bare bones. They don't have anything in their products that should cause irritation. Okay, last thing that I wish I knew about tretinoin sooner before we jump over to my agency prescription is that tretinoin actually makes it really difficult for me to see any sort of noticeable improvement in my skin when I start using a new skincare product. And that's not because tretinoin is canceling out the ingredients in those products. It's because tretinoin itself has already made such a massive difference in my skin that it's difficult for me to see a big difference in using a new serum or a new moisturizer. That's not to say that it's never happened before, because I can think of 2 serums off the top of my head that have really moved the needle for me. I didn't even mean to say that. One, of course, is the Dermatology Needleless Serum that I started using after I started using tretinoin, and I really saw an improvement when I started using that for a few months. And the other, which is the most recent, I would say, impressive change for me, is the Ordinary's Buffet Plus Copper Peptides. Both of those serums really, really help to make my skin look even glowier, even brighter, which I love. But aside from those products, there haven't been, I mean, there's been some over the past couple of years, but there hasn't been a ton that I've been insanely wowed by, because my skin, I feel, is already at such a high bar that it's hard for me to raise that bar. You know, like there's a limit at some point with how nice your skin can look. So no, that definitely doesn't mean that if you've been on tretinoin for 2 years, that's it, your skin's not gonna get any better, but it just takes a really potent product with super impressive ingredients for me to see a difference at least. All right, let's talk details of my agency formula. So I am currently prescribed 0.1% tretinoin, but that is not at all where I started. So if you are looking to start tretinoin, you're wondering a good amount to start at, that's what your dermatologist is going to help you to figure out, but it won't be 0.1% because this will take your skin time to adapt to. So I was first prescribed 0.025%. Then when I finally adjusted to that without irritation, that was increased to 0.05 until I finally hit 0.1%. The reason that I jumped, well, I didn't jump, slowly transitioned from 0.025 to 0.1 is just because those lower amounts weren't doing enough for me in terms of keeping my skin clear. I was still breaking out too often. So the 0.1% has really been the sweet spot for me as far as acne goes. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it took me almost a year, maybe not that long, but several months to be able to use 0.1% every single night without irritation. Like, it's definitely been a journey, but now that I have gotten to this point where I can use it no problem, I am just blown away by what it has done for my skin. I know I've talked about the benefits before, but because this is an update, I feel like I should just address some of the specific changes that I've seen. So, of course, less breakouts, less frequent, fewer when I do get a breakout. So instead of getting 4 breakouts at a time, it's only 1, which is a very welcome change. It has gotten rid of all of my texture. I never in a million years thought that my skin could be this smooth at this point in my life. I Guess I don't know that I ever had crazy amounts of texture, but when I look back at photos, I can tell that there's like a little bit of texture on my forehead. My skin just wasn't smooth like it is now. I feel like my skin could cut glass. Not to brag. No, really, not to brag, because this isn't something that is specific to me, and like I'm so lucky it has taken me time and energy and money to get to this point, but it's something that's accessible for all of you. So I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to be like, oh my god, my skin's amazing because I was born this way. I really was not. I was not at all. And then overall, I would just say that my skin is so much glowier and brighter and more even than it ever used to be. So because I started tretinoin at a young age, I can't obviously speak to a difference in wrinkles, but what I can say is that I used to not take care of my skin at all. I would lay out in the sun for hours. I never wore sunscreen. I went in tanning beds. So I know for sure that if I had not started using tretinoin a couple of years ago, my skin would be in much worse shape than it is right now. I feel like my skin looks better at 27 than it did at 21. I think the only difference that I've noticed is that the lines around my eyes are, you know, a little more prominent than they were when I was a fresh 20 years old. But aside from that, I really do feel like, holy crap, the transformation. If you're just starting, just you wait. So that's it for my 2.5-year tretinoin update. I really hope this was helpful for any of you that are curious about this ingredient, want to know what to expect, or you're just starting on your journey. Either way, let me know in the comments below if you maybe changed your mind about tretinoin after watching this video, or if you've been using Tret for a while and you have some interesting experiences that maybe I didn't mention, or things that you have found helpful, products you love that I didn't talk about. Drop those in the comments as well. If you want me to do more tretinoin videos in the future, I of course am always down to talk about my favorite superstar skincare ingredient. Just let me know what kinds of tretinoin content you would like to see. So if you would like me to do a Q&A, leave questions below. If you want me to do a video maybe on the different methods of getting tretinoin, agency versus Curology versus other things, I'm down for all of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but we are going to wrap up this video here. Georgia, I don't know anyone in Georgia. The spam calls are out of control. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend. Thank you so much for doing all of those things. It really helps me, so I appreciate you so much. Thanks for watching. I love the heck out of you guys. Stay tuned for my next video because that will be up in a few days, but until then, I hope you have a great few days.